Welcome to the Quality of Mind podcast series, and this is a short little episode which is actually a testimonial from someone who attended our 3-day Quality of Mind Open program, and they recorded this about 4 months after they came on the 3 days. And I'd really urge and encourage listeners just to listen very deeply to the nature and the quality of the change and the impact that the Quality of Mind understanding had on him. And also, this was someone who really came with a low expectation, thinking they'd already seen everything there was to see about before psychology. So listen in, and hopefully you'll start to see the pervasive transformative benefit of Quality of Mind. And of course, if you've got any questions or comments, please do let us know. Have fun being curious.
I was lucky enough to go on Piers Thurston's Quality of Mind workshop in March 2025, and I can honestly say it's without doubt the best thing I've ever done, certainly in a business context, and I would absolutely recommend it to anybody who's considering it. My journey to the workshop is perhaps slightly different from most people. So what Piers does and what Quality of Mind does is point towards a fundamental truth about human nature and the experience that we're all having. It's a bit like seeing through a picture that's, you have one of those skull illusions. When you see it, you know that you're seeing the right thing, you know that it's true, and that's one of the main things it does, is point towards this truth. I had already seen that prior to the workshop. I'd seen it a few years before, and I'd actually been talking to Piers in an informal capacity. I'd been on his podcast, the guest, and worked with him on a few projects, and been speaking to Piers for quite a while before going on the workshop. I didn't expect to learn anything new on the workshop. I was mostly going along to learn from Piers in the way that he communicates this essential truth about human nature, because it's something that I'm exploring and hoping to develop my ability to communicate. And he's a very, very clear communicator and a real expert of the subject, having explored it for about 20 years more than I have. I was absolutely blown away by what happened, which is that the personal benefit it brought was immense. So I have seen through this illusion, seen the way that brought up to believe the world and our experience of the world operates isn't the full picture. I'd seen that wasn't quite true, and I basically thought that was the end of it. I'd seen through it, and that was that. And there were areas in my life where that was beneficial, perhaps without me realizing it, never had the understanding, hadn't quite filtered through. What these 3 days with Piers and the group of 12 of us who took part were able to do was just blow open the possibilities of what this understanding could do and the ways in which it could benefit a person's life. Something I learned on the course is that there's no end point, but that there's so much more to discover. In the 4 months since my experience of the world of life has just got richer and richer, and the ways in which it's showing up have been more frequent and more profound. I've also been able to feel things that I've perhaps been pushing away prior to going on the course. So I'd absolutely recommend it. It was a wonderful experience. Something that was also really intriguing was spending time with the other people on the course. I think we had 12. I think that's the maximum amount of people that he allows on any one course. And you see people coming at it from all different angles. Most people on the course hadn't really experienced or thought about these ideas at all going into it. Majority of people in the room said, I don't really know what this is all about, but I'm here because my friend or my partner or my business partner went on this course a few years ago and it changed their lives. And so we were in a room with people who were just there because other people they knew had had their lives changed by this experience. And it sounds incredibly powerful to be around. And you could see over the course of the 3 days that there were people in the room having their own lives changed. I just don't think there are business world courses that offer that level of transformation in such a short amount of time, but this one really does. And yeah, there's hundreds of people who have had a similar experience. I would strongly urge anyone to give it a go if you are open to the idea that there's a different way of seeing the world, and the benefits of, as Piers says, are truly exponential. Are there any areas where quality of mind isn't relevant? No, I don't think so. For me, it's shown up in my work massively, particularly my creative work. The course basically showed how to make it show up more in your life and relationships with other people. What it does is basically rewire your mind to the extent that you can act automatically. We all enjoy being in a situation where we can just act automatically, where we're with someone, a friend or whoever, that we're able to just be ourselves with and just say whatever comes into our mind and not going to offend anybody or nothing's going to go wrong, and it's all just going to be joyful conversation, interaction. After going on Quality of Mind course, you can basically do that all the time. And you can notice when it's not happening, and there's quick that you can do to bring yourself back to it. But basically you're able to just live in this automaticity, just going with the flow. And I can't remember the last time I had an argument in the last 4 months, which is great. Life is just much easier and richer. You're both more present and less critical of yourself. You're paying less attention to what you say and yet being more present when you say it. It's a wonderful combination, and it just brings immense freedom to your life in this and with friends and family. What I would say to somebody considering going on it is just happy to do it. I thought there wasn't much for me to get out of it. I was completely wrong. I was put off by the fact it was 3 days and the cost. It turned out best value for it. 3 days you can achieve more than I think some people can achieve in a lifetime of coaching sessions with us. So absolutely worth it from a cost and time perspective. Why not more popular? I think it sounds too simple. We think that anything worthwhile must be difficult. It's simple, not easy. So because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean it requires nothing from the person taking part. But I think it does sound too simple from the outside. And there is just this thought voice that people will hear, well, it'll work for them, but it won't work for me. As I said at the beginning, this is pointing towards a fundamental truth of human nature and human experience. So it, by definition, will work for anybody. The only reason it wouldn't is if you have that, you cling to that thing. This won't work for me, but just allow yourself to test the idea that it might. And if you do that, then I'd be confident that it will. And 3 words to sum up quality of mind: alive, awake, automatic. All with A's, so hopefully that helps. Go and do it. Do the course.
If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and want to know more, check out our website at qualityofmind.biz. And also feel free to reach out and leave us a review or a comment. Until next time, have fun being curious.